across the land, searching far and wide. Each Pokemon to understand the power that's inside. Seedots.
Welcome back to my corner of the internet, Macho Maniacs. My name is Lucas, aka Macho Emolga. We are back for week number 2 of the PBL, week 2 of the regular season. We came out on top last week against Sharknado 300 and the Anaheim Gold Ducks in a 4-0 victory, which was a lot closer than a 4-0 victory overall. But we were able to come away with the victory. And this week we have the interdivisional match up against TCF Eric and the Denver Rapidash. As you can see from your screen, he's bringing a pretty scary team overall. He's not bringing the Alakazam, which I thought he would, the Mega Alakazam, but he is bringing the Arcanine. The way I look at the way his team is set up, it looks like Arcanine is probably some kind of Choice Band Extreme Speed set, with his physical wall being Bronzong and his special wall being Tentacruel, quite possibly. Metacam is probably there as some kind of huge power Life Orb set, possibly, like Life Orb, Drain Punch is what I was thinking. Superior obviously does pretty much one thing really, really well, and that's Contrary Leaf Storm with like HP Rock, maybe Dragon Pulse as secondary coverage moves. And then we have Galvantula, which more than likely is going to be the Sticky Web lead. So, anyway, this week, I saw that a good number of his team was weak to Chandelure, because Chandelure has the fire and ghost type stabbing. And overall, that hits 4 out of his 6 team members. Shadow Ball hits for super effective damage on Bronzong and Metacam, while Flamethrower hits for super effective damage on Superior and Galvantula. And then Arcanine and Tentacruel are his checks to that, but for those we have other things that can deal with them. Anyway, our physical wall this week is Jirachi. It's pretty much max HP, max defense. Mandibuzz is max HP, max special defense. Kyurem is a expert belt move coverage kind of set. Diggersby is a Swords Dance sweeping set with Silk Scarf and Quick Attack, Earthquake, and Fire Punch for the attacking moves. And then Thundurus is a pretty generic Life Orb set with Thunderbolt, Psychic, and HP Fire for the moves, and then Thunder Wave, possibly to use Prankster to get out of something, like if we're going to die from Life Orb damage anyway, or if he brings in some kind of thing that I know is Choice Scarf, or we can just Thunder Wave real quick and hopefully neutralize it. Anyway, that's the team we're bringing this week. Hopefully, it turns out to be well for us. We're going to hop right into the battle. It ends up being a 21-turn battle, so not the longest of battles, but also not the shortest. Anyway, Eric is issuing a challenge. He sends out Daisy the Galvantula first. Once again, something that I was expecting to see be a lead. And I lead off with my Jirachi. Anyway, I know that he's probably going to want to go for Stealth Rocks as a lead, or I know that he's probably going to want to go for Sticky Web as a lead, so I want to get my Stealth Rocks up right away and hopefully force Tentacruel to go for a Rapid Spin at some point, and I can Spin Block with Chandelure. So I bring in my Stealth Rocks, and we just exchange hazards. Anyway, he goes for the Bug Buzz, which I Steel Resist, so I am neutral to, and it doesn't do a whole lot of damage. And I go for the Fire Punch, which is my only attacking move on Jirachi, and it brings him below half, and it's going to snag a burn, because Serene Grace bumps up Fire Punch to being a 40% chance to burn, which is very nice. And I was packing it on there to hopefully neutralize some sort of physical threat like Metacam with a burn. Anyway, he now knows that maybe he mistook Steel for not resisting Bug, so he goes for the Thunder now, which is higher base power, so it's going to do more damage. It does do a good deal of damage, but I now know that I can stay in and just start wishing and protecting. I consider switching out, or maybe even going for a Fire Punch to take this thing out, thinking that he knows I'm going to protect, but I do just realize that it might be a little bit too early to make predictions, so I do just go for the safe protect. If he brings in something like Arcanine, I'm just going to have to deal with it. Anyway, he goes for the Thunder. I protect myself. Obviously, he's not playing the prediction game this early yet either. Wish comes true, and we're back up to just about full health. So we have our opponent burn and really low on health, and we have essentially taken no damage. Plus, we have our Stealth Rocks up, which is very nice. Daisy barely lives, and at this point, I expect him to go for a Thunder again, just trying to get damage off. So I go out to Roger, ground typing, so I'm immune to the Thunder, and he does end up going for the Thunder here after you see Sticky Web hit me. He goes for the Thunder, and burn damage is going to take him out. So Diggersby comes in pretty much just to watch Daisy die, essentially. And we're now up 6-5 in the match. Anyway, he brings out the Doctor. I calc it, and I know for a fact that he's going for Leaf Storm, which is a guaranteed OHKO on Diggersby, even with max HP investment. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch out here, because I know that I can't Swords Dance, and I know that Quick Attack won't kill from there. Go out to Jirachi to resist the Leaf Storm. And that's exactly what he goes for, as I get caught in the sticky web again, which is eventually going to kind of get annoying, but not too much. I mean, my team isn't necessarily built around speed this week, except for Thunderous, who's a flying type anyway, so it won't be super affected by the sticky web, or won't be affected at all by the sticky web. But he's at +2 now, and I'm just going to go ahead and reel off the Fire Punch here. He goes for the Taunt, maybe expecting me to wish or something, try to wish out into something, but I am just going for Fire Punch. I'm not quite sure why he taunted. He knew that I had the Fire Punch on this thing after seeing me use it on Galvantula, so to go for a taunt there, I wasn't quite sure about the move. But I figure that he knows that another Fire Punch kills his Superior, so he's going to switch out into something to take it. I predict Tentacruel to be the switch in, and he does switch into Tentacruel, which is perfect for me because I switch out into Thunderous. Now, depending on his investment, how much special defensive investment he has, Thunderbolt, if he has like max special defensive, max HP, Thunderbolt won't kill, but I know that he can't do much back to me. I don't care about getting burned from a Scald, so I do just go for the Thunderbolt. That's not a crit, and it takes him out, so obviously he wasn't running full special defense. Tentacruel's base regular defense is really kind of low, so he might have been running some investment in that. But he brings out the monster, Arcanine. I'm kind of ready to let go of Thunderous because it was really there as the super big Tentacruel check. So I do just go for the Thunder Wave, hoping that this thing is like Choice Scarfed, and so I can kind of neutralize this thing and bring in something else to take it out. Maybe my Kyurem with Earth Power will take it out. But he goes for the Wild Charge instead of the Flare Blitz, which Electric resists that, so it's not super effective on me. So he takes recoil from that, and I'm now able to get off a Thunderbolt. So I'm not quite sure. That was a pretty big misplay on his part, in my opinion. Flare Blitz from that range would have taken me out, but Thunderous is able to snag an extra kill, and we now are up 6-3 in the match. In comes the Doctor, which once again is kind of a threat, and I know that I'm pretty sure I'm not outspeeding it, so I just go for Thunder Wave with Prankster to kind of neutralize this thing, so I can bring in something else. He is just going to go for the Leaf Storm to get to +2, which is not very effective, but it's still going to kill me from this range, just because I'm so low, and Thunderous isn't great defensively as it is. So his special attack rises sharply, but he is at low health, and he's also paralyzed. So I just bring out Roger, going for the Quick Attack. I know that it's going to kill from that range regardless because Superior is not very bulky defensively. So I go for the Quick Attack. It goes down kind of low, and I get kind of worried that that's not going to take out, but it does. So we're now up 5-2 overall in this match, and in comes the thing that worried me more than anything this week, and that's Jet Li, the Metacam. I know for a fact that Roger doesn't want to take anything from this, and that Quick Attack isn't going to kill from there, so I'm going to need to whittle down this thing in order to get the KO on it with Quick Attack. He goes for the Drain Punch. It's neutral on me because I'm flying, but that still does tons of damage. I'm not at all invested in physically defense, and I figured that maybe this week I should invest a little bit of defense solely because of Metacam, and looking back on this little interaction here between the two, I know that now that I definitely should have. But hindsight's always 20/20, and he does take me out with Drain Punch. I just let this thing go down. Mandibuzz, after being the MVP of Week 1, pretty much does nothing this week other than being death fodder for Jet Li, the Metacam. And now I'm in a bit more of a precarious position because it is now 4-2, and this thing is just kind of a monster to my team. Jirachi's speed falls. I go for the fire. He goes for the Fire Punch, and is able to snag the burn on me, which is awful, and then I go for the Fire Punch on him, crossing my fingers that I'm going to get a burn, because if I get a burn on this thing, then Drain Punch isn't going to be enough to take off Diggersby, and I can just Swords Dance and Quick Attack possibly. But unfortunately I don't grab the burn. And I know here that he's going to go for Drain Punch to try to get a little bit of health back. So I go for the Protect, honestly trying to whittle down my own HP so that he's not getting as much HP back from me using Drain Punch. But he ends up going for Fire Punch, which kind of confuses me a little bit. I feel like Drain Punch is going to kill me from there. Could possibly not. I think I calced it and it was doing something like 20%, so I think it would. But he Fire Punches and takes me out. Jirachi gets up Stealth Rocks and does a good number to Galvantula this week, so overall Jirachi did its work this week as our physical wall. But anyway, it's low enough now where Quick Attack definitely is going to take out, so I bring in Roger now. Yeah, we had to sack off 2 Mons in order to get Roger onto the field and able to Quick Attack this thing for the kill, but it was more than worth it with how terrifying this thing is to my team. Because now at this point all I have left is Roger, our Chandelure, and our Kyurem. Kyurem definitely can't take on that Metacam. But anyway, finish this off with Fire Punch. I don't know if he's Heat Proof or Levitate as his ability, but I just go for the Fire Punch because Fire Punch is guaranteed to hit whether he's Heat Proof or not Heat Proof, whereas Earthquake, even if he could possibly be Levitate, I had a 100% chance to hit something with Fire Punch and only a 50% chance to hit something with Earthquake, and I bet on him being Levitate for the ability, but 2 Fire Punches kill. Diggersby picks up the 3 kills this week in his debut for the Seattle Seedots, leaving him at home last week. But anyway, overall, a really good match, a 3-0 victory in our favor, which is definitely good as we progress to 2-0 on the season now, the only undefeated team in our division and the leaders in the clubhouse. Super awesome job. Props out to Eric for bringing a really good team. Pretty much, the hard check to his team, Chandelure, never saw the field, and Kyurem also never saw the field. Pretty much, Eric brought a great team, but it was just kind of his own misplays that kind of ended up costing him in the end, like going for Taunt on Jirachi of Superior and getting it so low, even though he saw that I had Fire Punch, and going for Wild Charge with Arcanine on Thundurus, where Flare Blitz would have killed. I'm pretty confident that Diggersby would have come in the end and swept regardless, but pretty much a 3-0 is not, once again, for the second straight week, a 3-0 isn't how close I think this match should have been. I think it could have been a 2-0 or a 1-0 if he hadn't misplayed a couple of times. So that's that. Anyway, next week, in our Week 3 match of the PBL, we go up against Colton and the Omaha Omastars. They are 1-1 after suffering a Trick Room defeat this week to Mopman. So anyway, spoilers if you haven't already watched that match. Sorry about that. Anyway, I'm going to get on out of here. Happy Sunday, everyone. Hope you're having an amazing day, end of the week, whatever you want to call it. My name is Lucas, a.k.a. Macho Emolga. Peace, guys.
Oh, yeah!